If there is a game that I can say that felt more complete than, I would say, almost any other game that I played in my life, that would be Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Now, this game doesn't come without some flaws, but the thing that they're very minimal. For example, for me, it was the lip syncing and also the facial expressions. They feel too stiff. So it hurt the immersion a bit and of course the emotional impact, but again, it wasn't overwhelmingly bad. It just was not good enough. And I can echo some of the things that some of you guys mentioned on the post that I actually posted a few days ago. For example, use loadouts. This is something that can be great, and I agree, because respecting through all these many luminas, it just, well, it can be crazy at times. I also heard people mentioning things relating to balancing. I know there's a controversy about that, and some people didn't like how the story progresses through the third act. People share their thoughts. The 30 FPS cutscenes, for example. Suddenly you have such smooth frame rate and then suddenly just go to 30 FPS. I didn't like it as well, so I agree here. Anyway, many people share their own opinion and that's fine. So the game, again, there are things that can be improved, especially when you look at things more, let's say, subjectively and not things related to technical aspects of the game. You're going to find out that people have different opinions. Some people even didn't like the game at all. But if you look at, again, the entirety of the game, you're going to see that many things in this game done in, let's say, if I put rating on it, like 8 and up. And of course, some of the things is just sheer perfection. So we can mention, for example, the unique hybrid combat mechanic. The absolutely, and I say absolutely spectacular original soundtrack, an entire score made for this game. Soundtrack that people will listen to beyond the game itself. And again, this mention even this, I cannot not mention the composer, Laurent Testard, and also the collaboration, of course, with Alice Duport-Percier on the vocals. The animation, the visual effects, the level design, the overworld map design, all the different unique passive and pictos and luminas that you can create some really powerful builds. The incredible voice acting, both English and French. Well, let's say it like that. There are many things done incredibly well in this game. And this is why the results are so impressive. Now I can tell you that I play around. Now I play this game more than 300 hours, so I pay attention to so many things, and even things that I missed, I found them, in another playthrough. Basically 5 playthroughs. Not all of them, of course, as long, because I didn't do everything 100%, but I replayed many times. So I had the opportunity to actually pay attention to things. Of course, I play many games, and I find inspiration from within these games from many other games. It feels like this game felt to me like a collection of the best video game had to offer for us in the last, I don't know, like 20 years. By the way, not just from games, also I found things that kind of brought me like, things from movies and even TV series. So, but most of the things, of course, from games. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming here, but it's just so strong for me because I feel like the developer sat down and just wrote down all the great things that people love in certain games. Maybe certain lines, even in dialogue, and just brought these ones because they knew that if the people enjoy them in other games, they will enjoy it in this game as well. Of course, it's not like bringing things from other games, it's just creating a harmony that everything just blend well together. This is something that they need to figure out and do it well. And you see, because they did it so well, the game felt like you are playing something new. And I also think that in that aspect, it also was a bit less risky because they're not really coming with something completely fresh and an entire new type of unique gameplay experience that, it's kind of a gamble. So as far as I can see it, I think that they actually knew exactly what they are doing and they wanted to really nail the formula that they have high probability that it will have high appeal to the target audience. Of course, many developers want to achieve this thing, and some even developers go into uncharted territories and taking more risks. So those who are actually responsible for both, again, bringing all these things that actually work in other games and bringing them into the game, but also compiling it together so it doesn't feel disconnected. Everything just blends together so beautifully. So those are responsible for making it did an incredible job. This is why it felt like a new game rather than a collection of things from many other games. And by the way, this reminds me for many artistic works, like people get inspired doing things from others, even in paintings and and other type of art, but they bring something from their own and use this inspiration to create something fresh, unique, and very, very interesting. And on top of that, I think they brought the hybrid to really have something that is not like, I don't want to say overused, but used a lot to really make the game feel at the time of release to feel like something new. It kind of warps everything because this is really the core of the gameplay experience, the combat and the turn-based with hybrid reactive combat. And I think this resonates very well because I think people actually had a crave for it. Maybe some just didn't know, they just wanted to play something that's turn-based but feel different, and this actually answered it. Aside from that, they actually add a very big appeal to a large audience, those who actually love turn-based games and those who actually love action games, and found a great place in the middle to actually appeal to both audiences. If you see Souls players, and I'm telling you those pro Souls players actually playing this game and trying to showcase the skills at certain bosses, you know there is something here they actually done right. So you can see people who love playing turn-based game playing, and those who love Souls games actually playing a turn-based game on their channels that mainly play Souls games. They also made sure to balance the story with the gameplay at a really perfect amount. Sometimes I play games like there's so much dialogue and just get exhausted from dialogue. The pacing just feels bad, and sometimes even it's a bit too childish for me, I would say. I don't know even how to say it, but it feels like, it's not believable for me. Sometimes I like it, depends of course, sometimes I don't. But here it's a very, very emotional, mature storytelling. It is a fantasy game, but there are lots of things of course in the story that people can resonate with. The core of the story revolves around how the characters cope with profound loss. It explores their reaction to a significant event and the emotional journeys they undertake as a result. And of course, when it's combined with very believable and convincing voice acting, the result is a very emotional journey that you want to actually listen to, not skip through. Now, on top of that, we have the Unreal Engine 5 that actually helped to realize this amazing world in terms of lighting, in terms of details. It just immediately immerses you into the game. And I won't put spoilers here, of course. I'm just saying that there are things here that related even to the core of the story, that having this type of art style actually contribute to the entire understanding of what's happening in the game. So once you actually progress with the game and the story, everything comes together and you learn to appreciate the choice for choosing this particular engine, even if you don't know the engine. I mean the visuals themselves, even more than before. This is why people even refer to this game not just like a video game per se, but a piece of art. Now, I can say that the fact that the game is available as of time making this video through Game Pass allowed it to gain even more traction because more people who were Game Pass subscribers had a chance to at least try this game. And above that, it was actually sold in a very surprising, relatively low price. And I think until now, people just can't believe that this type of quality of a game was actually sold at that price. And I agree with you. It actually, people start thinking, well, what people are actually selling us with the AAA games? What is going on? Some people think it's just a hoax, the price that we actually pay, considering what we paid here for such a high quality game. Some people even doom the entire AAA industry. This game made lots of waves all across the board in so many aspects. And this is a game, this is a classic. You need to understand, this already defined is a classic by so many. This is a game that shook the industry. This is a game that you're going to see other games being inspired by in the future. Now, I know some people mention the number of developers working, but some people say, all right, they actually outsource some of the things. To be between us, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was a huge company or a small company, let alone, of course, if it's designed by a small company, it needs higher admiration for what was done here. But the fact that we get a game like that, regardless, something so special, so thought through, So beautiful and artistically designed. A game that just felt so unique, although seems like inspired by so many other games. This is something that is truly special and needs to be recognized. You can feel immediately there are so many artistically talented individuals that actually work on this game to make it feel and look like that. These are the type of games that you're going to sleep and think about. The games that you're going to talk about many years after. The game that you get excited to vote for the game of the year. And hopefully it will take it. Well, hopefully not just in that category, but in many other categories as well. This is a masterpiece game that people will talk for many years to come. And for me, I have nothing just to applaud after playing so many hours of this game, which I put it now down to take a break. This is a game that I will come and play again in the future. I know myself. I gave time to test it fully, started with just the lowest difficulty, then went to expert difficulty, then played in English and French language. A game that I just wanted to experiment it all, and I wanted to make sure that I found most of the things in this game. I also want to say that I'm actually happy that it's not like overwhelmingly extensive. I wasn't even into another like Baldur's Gate 3 type of game, to be honest with you. And I think also they design it very well in terms of that, so it's not like overwhelming the players, but just at the perfect and right amount to let players experience a great story, fantastic gameplay, and not something that will take like hundreds of hours to complete. So actually many players will actually find themselves completing the game, or at least experiencing a big chunk of it. Now, some would say that they actually took a risk bringing something like that with the hybrid mechanics. Well, I agree. Because again, it might not satisfy completely those who love action games, and those who like turn-based games, it might turn them off. But at the same time, it might bring something new that people might be craving for, and it might appeal to even both audiences. And I think the result proved that this was actually a very, very smart decision to do it. And this is why I think the reception was great among many players who played it, who love playing turn-based games, and those who love playing action RPG games. So was it done to perfection? Well, some might elevate it to such. There are things I think that can be improved. Hopefully quality of life improvements will be added to the game. And again, as many people say, there aren't things that nothing is actually perfect. And I agree here also, there are things that can be improved. But if you look at the overall experience, I mean, what a ride. Life is made of moments, and knowing that I have the privilege to play a game like that, this is something that I will cherish for many, many years to come. This was done by developers who really care about us as gamers, who really wanted us to experience something special. By gamers, for gamers. But again, not as a slogan, as a meaningless marketing slogan, rather as a fundamental philosophy that deeply influences everything they've done. So you see that this game is, you can really feel it, that this game was made with passion and love. I would say even that the result is such a good game, like a perfectly crafted baguette. It has the ideal balance of satisfying substance and delightful finesse, leaving you completely fulfilled. So all I can say, finishing this video, is saying to developers and everybody involved in making this video, music and everything in this game, thank you. Merci.